Thank you so much for joining me today, Anna. We're so excited to talk about Vegan Warsaw. And first of all, for our viewers who have not yet had the pleasure of seeing the trailer, what is Vegan Warsaw about?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for meeting me. So the Vegan Warsaw is about people. So we didn't want to make the movie about food. First of all, the Green Rev Institute does mainly advocacy projects. So what we are doing is a kind of lobbying, it's a kind of making pressure, a kind of asking policymakers, decision makers to change the law, legislation, and give us, so the plant-based sector, vegan sector, money. And give us money back, because we would like to take all money from the animal agriculture, promotion policy, investments, R&D, and so on, and just shift to the plant-based vegan sector. So usually our day is all about advocacy, meeting policymakers, asking them, sending mails, and so on. But we decided, I mean me and Marcin, so the brain and heart of Green Rev Institute, we decided that we would like to show that business as usual is not the only business. So we have the ethical, full of empathy, full of dreams business in Poland. And just next to the business as usual, the corporation, people that would like to make money, and that's all, we have the new sector. And this is ethical, full of dreams, full of passion, full of values in business. And this is all about people in this business. Local vegan bistro, słuszna strawa, plant-based chicken, and Yumiko vegan sushi. People without money, but with dreams, decided that this is possible. It is possible to connect business and connect passion and values and do something good for all animals, so non-human animals, human animals, and so on. And this is very interesting because when we decided to make the movie, it was, this first movie, first film. I was production coordinator, so it was full of strange situation. And today, I need to say, when I watch any movie, I'm really like, wow. How did they do this? Like, wow, it's not as bad as I was thinking. Yeah, it's, it's like, yeah, now I absolutely understand why bond has to be as expensive, and and that's the funny part of this project. But when we decided to make the movie, we decided to meet people with very intersectional view. So not only vegans, but not only vegans, all vegans are intersectional, but people that would like to say something more, say something on human rights, on animal rights, on LGBTQI plus rights, and so on. So they have that all view. And as Paweł, so the co-owner in Local Vegan Bistro, said something in the movie like, animal liberation is human liberation. This is it. It's like this. And we wanted to show people, passion, intersectional view. And the second thing that we wanted to show, it's about the state, national, public support. So because we talk a lot about plant-based sector, about money, about growing, and so on, but what we do not talk about, it's absolutely something that missed in this sector, so money from state. We know that we have in Europe common agriculture policy, we have cohesion policy, we have a lot of money that goes to animal agriculture. But słuszna strawa, so all businesses from the movie, they do not have any support. So in 2021, in the moment of climate crisis, in the moment of COVID, the city authorities don't want to talk about supporting ethical, climate, social, responsible business. And this is something very sad. And this is something that unfortunately happens in all Europe.
Yeah, and it's happening overseas as well. Here in New Zealand, we know all too well about the huge subsidies that are being paid out to our agricultural industry, which is turning the so-called clean, green New Zealand into a river full of cow waste, which happens to be green, actually. And it's a fantastic initiative. And this is what really caught our eye here at Vegan FTA, is that intersectional view and your approach to really tackle the policies which are making it much harder for progress to happen. And I cannot wait to see the film fully. I've read a little bit about it from the description, and it seems you've got many interesting characters there talking in it. So what was it that initially sparked the inspiration for this film?
So first of all, we wanted to connect. In REV, we do connect the dots between human rights, animal rights, and climate. And we wanted to show something different. And we wanted to make the movie that is going to support our advocacy projects. Because it's, first of all, it's very difficult to be as vegan in media. So media would like to talk about a plant-based diet or something very sad or something very interesting or something very shocking, but it's just one moment. Unfortunately, we just prepared the call to action to media last month because we need veganism to be mainstreamed. And it's very important to talk not only like, are you going to eat the veggie burger, or you are going to drink the plant-based milk or yogurt or whatever. We need to talk about veganism in very detailed and very big picture way. So we need to show that veganism is a kind of fundamental thing that we need to make, we need to do, we need to implement to make the world the better place. And this is like, this is the key thing that we need to do. We need to transform agriculture. We need to make the food system transition. And this is all about veganism. So it's not only about food. It's about the whole idea that we need this change. And we wanted to show something, showing people, showing businesses, showing how they struggle, how they try to survive sometimes, how they started, how they, face the same problems as business persons all over the world. We wanted to show that this is possible. This is a kind of the new way. And the plant-based food, it's not like alternatives. This is successor. This is the new food. We need to stop talking about if I want to try something new. I should just change my way of living and try to take new food, the food for future, the food that is going to be good for all of us, for non-human animals as well. And we wanted to show in the movie as well that when we talk about veganism, usually we talk about food, but we need to talk about animals, non-human animals, because this is something that we need to have in our brain. We do a lot of advocacy with the European Commission. We are as one of 10 NGOs in EU platform on animal welfare. And usually we talk about food, we talk about money, taxes, welfare, and nothing on non-human animals. And we need to talk about non-human animals. So it wasn't like that we watch some movie and Marcin said, let's try. It was more like a part of our strategy to show something to show our idea of veganism, to show our feeling about veganism, to show how we want to change the world, implementing different projects in REV. So we are going to continue, hope so, and we are going to make more movies because we would like to show, for example, sanctuaries. We have only 3 sanctuaries in Poland. So in Poland, we kill like more than over 1 billion animals per year, but we have only 3 sanctuaries for non-human animals, for farmed animals. And this is a kind of, it's like, wow, so where you are going to see non-human animals, farmed animals, because you can see, you can meet a farmed animal in the movie, watching the movie, or watching some footage from a slaughterhouse, or you are going to meet farmed animals in store as a product. So, and there is nothing between. So there was no particular inspiration. It was just a part of our strategy to show that, because advocacy is boring, it's difficult to talk about advocacy like about something fantastic, like, yeah, we were talking to Commissioner Janusz Wojciechowski, wow. No, it's not interesting, it's not like, wow, amazing, something that we are going to show. It's a daily, very boring, very hard work, yeah? So it's nothing, it's nothing very exciting about changing the law. I mean, it's nothing like, we do not have a great successes as well. So, so the movie was a kind of showing what exactly is veganism, that this is the idea that we need to implement and we need to understand to make the world a better place, because without veganism, we are not going to change anything.
It's so inspiring hearing you talk about this and just all of your passion in it. And I'm just blown away. I can't wait to get and check this out, and more Green Rev in general as well, all the fantastic work that you are doing. And it's just, out there, generally veganism is known as basically just a plant-based diet, and the media, we know it so well, are very fickle when it comes to it. They only want to know about those diet sides. And I absolutely love what you said about plant-based being the successor, not the alternative. I think that's going to have to be a new tagline somewhere. I think that's fantastic. But yeah, I'm getting really excited about this and really inspired by it. I love it. I can't wait to see the rest of the films, and hopefully for our Vegan FTA crew, because the media, obviously aren't picking up on this so fast, we need to help out here and share this as much as possible and get watching it and be inspired for our own nations. But if there's one thing you wish to achieve from this film, what is your highest hopes for it?
After over 1 year of advocacy and seeing different situation in European Commission, and we are in very good moment because the momentum is today, European Green Deal, EU Farm to Fork, and so on. I'm not going to talk about huge ideas or huge dreams. I feel, and what I think today is that the huge success for us is fight. We need to fight, and the daily fight is something that I would like to be a part of our life. And what I understood after over 1 year is that if we are going to, let's say, make this fight together, so create the critical mass of NGOs, of civic society organization, of people, activists, and show them that standing together is something new for animal agriculture lobby, and we can win. This is possible. We can win, but we need to stand together and we need to fight. So just fight itself is a kind of success in this sector, because if you are still motivated, if you have still a lot of passion, you are going to win. Not tomorrow, not 2023, not 2024, but we are going to win. And I would like to show people, first of all, through this movie, that we can create the new economy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at the beginning because of the fact that there is no support from the state, from city authorities, and so on. No public support. But it is possible to create the new economy, the new way of business, not business as usual, no greenwashing, humane washing business, but the new business. The new business, when you are going to prepare the business plan, the first thing it's like we are going to be good for all animals, yeah? And it is possible that the second sector, so the business sector, is going to change the world. And the second thing that I would like to show through this movie is to show to policymakers and decision makers that time for business as usual is over. So unfortunately in Poland, we do not have any vegan policymaker. So the only one is MEP, my sister, MEP in European Parliament, Anna Spurek, and this is the only vegan, so it's like, wow, one. But we need to show to policymakers that it's over. It's over, and it's not enough to say like, I love animals, this is my dog. Or this is my cat, wow, I'm animal lover, you know. It's time to say, are you going to eat animals and tell us all the time that you are, you know, against factory farming, against climate pollution and so on? Or are you going to be the real policymaker? And we don't want to, and we don't need policymakers as business as usual. This time is over. It's like the part that, you know, the time of talking and eating and drinking cow milk in coffee is over. So we are going, I want to show as well to policymakers that we are going to fight. And this is the beginning, but we are going to fight and we are going to win.
It's such a resounding so much hope in it. It's fantastic. I love this. This is a great fire to start off 2022 for all vegans out there, because wow, you know, we're going to get stuck in. This is going to be a fantastic year for us, and we're going to fight that good fight together. And collaboration is something that we at Vegan FTA is one of our core principles. And yes, it's so true. We need to band together in order to be able to do this, because they're not going to help us. So we need to help ourselves so we can help the animals. How do you feel that veganism is progressing in Poland generally?
You know, we have two sides of this discussion. The one is plant-based sector. And of course, as anywhere in Europe, is growing. And it's great, you know, it's great, and it's very popular. We are talking about vegetarians, vegans, flexitarians, and so on. But plant-based sector is something huge, is something interesting. And I know that we have more and more investors, and it's like, wow. On the other hand, we have 1,700 factory farms. We are going to give to milk sector 10 million euros this year for milk programs in schools. We are going to give money for beef agriculture, again, in common agricultural policy. So the thing is that we can be optimists, like, wow, plant-based sector. But as you said, plant-based sector as food. But we need to talk about the real situation, about facts. And just last week, the new report on the control system of food safety was published, and it's really bad. It's bad. It's so bad that you need to close all farms, all animal farms tomorrow, and you are not going to do this. So the veganism in Poland. So if we talk about plant-based system, plant-based food in Poland, we are optimistic. If we talk about veganism, not so much. Because we need to, first of all, as I said before, we have one Polish MEP in European Parliament that she is vegan, Sylwia Spurek, one. We don't have partners in Polish policy makers in public institution to talk about even, the vegan meal at school. So this is the problem. But I think that what we are doing in REV, we don't want to concentrate, to focus. We want to analyze problems and try to find solution as fast as we can. So first of all, the first solution that we need to, and we are implementing, we have been implementing, is like a shame and blame to policymakers. Yeah, it's a good system. It always works, and I think it's more effective. It's most effective. The second thing that we need to show people that they should invest in plant-based sector, because everything that we are doing for animals, everything is good. Everything is good, and everything is going to work. So, and the third thing, unfortunately, we need to close that. It's disgusting. It's horrible that in Poland in 2022 we have almost 2,000 factory farms. We are the biggest producer of poultry. This is like, it's shocking, because I'm in Warsaw, and in Warsaw I can leave my home and go to try a vegan meal in 60, 70 places. But in the same time, just maybe 100 kilometers far from here, there is a factory. There is a huge factory of poultry. So we have a huge problem, because there is a kind of business as usual that is very strong. And next to business as usual, we have plant-based food sector that is growing. But I think that the same situation is everywhere in Europe, that this is not a new situation. Of course, we do not have as many NGOs, advocacy, watchdogging. We have some NGOs like huge, like Viva or Open Cages, Compassion, Humane Society International in Poland. But we still need much more people, activists, Anonymous for the Voiceless, activists from smaller cities, to understand that we can change this situation, but in very strategic way. So we need to be very careful when we talk about something with greenwashing and humane washing, small farms. No, we need to stop talking on small farming, We need to stop animal agriculture. And it's not only about non-human animals. We are killing animals, and it's bad for us. And I think that maybe in 2040, maybe in 2050, maybe in 2060, we are going to be really sad and ashamed that we were killing animals, that with all successors, alternatives, with all food, because the traditional food in Poland was not meat food, was not dairy food. And as everywhere, the poor food for poor people, so the main part of food was always plant-based food. It's not about tradition, it's about business, it's about what we are doing. So the situation in Poland is good and bad in the same way. Good because plant-based sector is growing, as everywhere. with huge money, with huge demand. There is a big customer request, big market request, and so on. But on the other hand, we can see factory farming and the discussion, the debate on tax zero for food. And tax zero for food today is going to again make stronger meat and dairy.
Wow, it's just
Yeah.
it comes up the term dystopia, coined by Claire Mann, the vegan psychologist, and that whole, just to us, it just seems bizarre that can keep happening in a failing system. They're just going to keep pumping more money into it. And once again, it's something we see many aspects here in New Zealand. Fortunately, we don't have the same level of factory farming, and that blew me away. I had no idea just how many factory farms there were there in Poland. Because of course, it doesn't get past the border, really. Like, we don't hear any news about that further afield. But thanks to groups like yourself and grassroots activists need to be getting out there and spreading that message. And once again, we need all of us to be speaking out, because the animals don't have a voice, but each one of us does. And I loved in this conversation how much you've talked about, hospitality and business, because they're forms of activism as well. And it's something we've been trying to highlight here at Vegan FTA, is how much of an impact you can make as well by backing these folks who are making a cruelty-free, compassionate way of life and providing that alternative, and also investing in those companies driving the way. Because for these people who are in charge of these policymakers, so much of it is just driven by who's paying my bills and who's putting bums on seats in Parliament for me. And so cracking that is something that we've really got to focus on. And I can't thank you enough. It's just been so insightful and wonderful to learn from you about the situation in Poland. I'm so excited for Vegan Warsaw, as you can probably tell, because I've just been rambling. But it's such a great initiative, such a great project. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to share it with all of our audience and make sure that everyone's checking it out. And hopefully we can stir up a few grassroots activists out there in Warsaw, in Poland in general, and we can start clamping down on these factory farms and these policymakers. Name and shame, that's fantastic. One thing as well that came up whilst you're talking was just that whole idea, we can't go back to business as usual. And there's been a thing that's been going around during these recent times, about trying to get back to normal. And it's normal that got us to this position now, so normality, we can't have that again. We need that change. And I'm so glad that you are helping to drive that in Poland. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. And of course, I hope you are going to enjoy Vegan Warsaw, and you are going to come one day to Warsaw and to Poland and to see that whole reality. And the last thing that I would like to say, that this year we are going to implement the new project, the Future Food for Climate Coalition, because we decided to make something together and to invite all civic society organizations to join our advocacy efforts. So there is a lot of hope. There is a lot of hope, but there is a lot to do. And as I said before, fight is success.